Hi there. And today, let's talk about what does healthy look like for a woman over 50? Because you may not really know, and that's what I'm here for, to help you understand what healthy really is. And so I've got to have a question for you. Have you been feeling kind of extra motivated to really dial in your health and slender down, but wondering, how do you do this? And so the question today is, how are we going to be healthy after 50? And what does after 50 look like as a woman? So healthy after 50 as a woman over 50. I guess I got that a little tongue twisted, but you understand kind of what I'm coming at. And, you know, a lot of the times I hear people say they eat healthy, but what does healthy really mean? Do you really have the knowledge to know what healthy means? Are you listening to the right people who actually understand ancestral health and nutrition so that you actually can be healthy after 50? Because if you have pain and inflammation in your body and you think you're eating healthy, that healthy may not be right for your body. And so healthy is going to look different for each person. We are all unique as to how we're going to be in our body. And that's why we want to look at this as an individual customized solution to help you, because that's what I focus on. I have a weight loss solution that involves a low carb method. My personalized holistic low carb method is a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and I want to help you dial that in as a woman over 50. So I'm calling out all women over 50 to come and get empowered, be empowered, help empower the people you know after you listen to this, and also send them these ones. If you feel like my videos are inspiring and helping you to be motivated to choose your best health, then send this along to a friend or a family member so that we can empower other women and other people as well. So I'm Lori Ballou, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and inspirational speaker for women over 50. We're using a low carb method to get your health back under track so that you can be healthy to live your best life, because you can have your best life after 50. That could be when you're out there playing, living life as an adventure. Living your best life after 50 can happen, because I am doing it. So I am not special or unique. I just tuned into my nutritional needs specifically for what I need. And I understand now, going through all the lived experience that I've had for a lifetime of lived experience of being obese, because I used to weigh 225 pounds. I've been obese as a child. I've had food sensitivities. I've had asthma and allergies. I've had sore knees. I had depression. And I suppose there could have been some anxiety in there. As a very I was worried about things more so now. And so that can be part of the anxiety issues, because when you're looking at your health, you need to kind of I actually look at 3 different ways to, let's look at this. There's like 3 different aspects that I go through with supporting my clients and inspiring you. And I'm going to be talking off and on about your nutrition. It's more of the science, using labs, 6 diagnostic labs to look under the hood to find your hidden healing opportunities and your weight loss blocks. But I'm also going to be using a lot of health, adventure, lifestyle issues, because a lot of this is also lifestyle management. A lot of this is that lifestyle management, because that's that accountability that you need to really get going where you need to go, because like I said, you don't always have the knowledge to really know what health is. So what does healthy look like as a woman over 50? And that's what we're chatting about today, so that you can kind of get more knowledge and tune into what the next steps could be for what you need to do, so that you don't have to wonder or worry about what the next steps are. So this is kind of supporting you, or kind of leading you into more some belief shifts that what you could be doing may not be working for your body. So just always remember, if it's not working, don't keep doing the same thing and beating yourself up, like hitting yourself with a hammer. It's not working. And so let's flip that and do something different that could be working for you. So that's where my weight loss solution and holistic low carb method for women over 50 is very effective, because it's going to address the underlying health condition of your body, and we're going to work at the nutritional level of your body. So that's where I like to look at this, as addressing your health holistically and nutritionally using those 6 diagnostic labs. And one of the ways that you want to look at this is you know, from the scientific side of this, one of the things that's been the most amazing process that I had with my clients, that a lot of information that we can get is a simple test called the food sensitivity test by MRT Oxford, the LEAP test. And what that does is test for 176 foods and food chemicals so that you can actually see what your body is reacting to, an antigen response in the body. So your white cell count, the mediator release is going to change in the body when they're doing the blood test. And so that you can see what your body is actually reacting to. And when your body is reacting to something, that can keep you inflamed, overweight, have health conditions. And so this is the very first step that I like to put people onto. One of the very first steps is to find out what the food sensitivities are so that we could actually uncover what's going on in your body, turn off the inflammation, and actually get your body to lose weight, because you're no longer eating things that you're sensitive to, which can cause rashes, brain dysfunction, and because even though it's happening in the gut, there's like a 1 to 9 response from the gut to the brain. And so your brain may give you a 1 response to the gut because they're connected, but your brain's going to give you 9 responses back. So that's been something that Tom O'Brien talks about. And so if you think about that, it's like, how powerful is our gut for the information to our body? And so the food that we eat is information that goes down into our gut, and that's supposed to handle our immune system. And so when you're eating foods that are inflammatory, even foods that people say are healthy for you, because what is healthy for maybe somebody in moderation may not be healthy for your body. If you have insulin resistance and obesity, any type of carbohydrate that is in excess is going to cause inflammation in your body because it'll raise your insulin response. And if you're insulin resistance, that's a problem. And so those are some of the things that we can look at, the science behind what does healthy look like as a woman over 50 is that insulin resistance, which most people have. And there's a new, I just kind of took a peek at it in LinkedIn today, but there was this map of the United States of people who are overweight and obese, and there's no green states left as to not having too much obesity. And so it is becoming a really big scare as to what's happening in our world with food that's creating obesity. So what is happening that's creating this obesity, that's creating us to be unhealthy and going to damage our children and ourselves as we get older? And so what is happening is there's too much sugar in the diet, too much processed foods, stage 4 processed, ultra-processed foods, and not enough nutrition from these foods. Those foods don't have nutrition because they're too ultra-processed. There's no nutrition left in those foods. And you're being told to eat fats that are inflammatory as to fats that are natural. And you're being told not to eat the protein because you're being scared away from cardiovascular risk. But this is what Dr. Sinatra says, and a lot of cardiologists are stating, is sugar, inflammation, and oxidation, which is going to cause us to be unhealthy. And so when you're looking at being healthy over 50, we want to address what's going on inside the body, reduce your inflammation, correct your liver health, and make sure your gut is functioning. And so that starts as easily as starting with some lab tests to find out what your food sensitivities are. And I knew somebody who was drinking a lot of Diet Coke. You would think Diet Coke's good for you because it doesn't have any sugar, but it does, with those artificial sweeteners, what it does is it just damages your intestinal tract, the bacteria in your gut. You want the good bacteria to work for you. So there's skinny bacteria and fat bacteria. And so you can have a pathogenesis inside your gut. You want to actually nourish your skinny bacteria so they nourish you. And so if you're sensitive to something like benzoic acid in Diet Coke, that could be causing you inflammation. And so every time you would drink that Diet Coke, you're going to have ongoing inflammation. And so some of my food sensitivities are wheat and dairy specifically, which is why I was obese my whole life, as well as had the asthma and the allergies because I had inflammation turned on all the time. And so that led to some depression. Sorry about that. And so when you actually take out the foods you're sensitive to, then you have less inflammation in your body. Well, I hope this little tickle goes away in my throat. Okay. And so you're just going to keep in mind that We want to actually get our body healthy to lose the weight. And so that's part of the process. Being healthy after 50, living our best life, starting to live our life as a health adventure. We get to choose that. All of this is something we get to choose. And I may have to cut this short because I'm having a cough. Let's see if it clears. Sorry about that. And so as an inspirational speaker for women over 50, I want you to live your best life. I want you to be able to redesign your health going forward for the best that you can have by recreating your health and living your life the way you want to. And the way you want to live your life is not going to look like mine. I love being outside, getting out for hikes, and living my life that way. And I actually do that because it's a very big stress reduction. Because when you look at reducing stress in your lifestyle, that's the other side of diet and nutrition. See, you could actually change your diet, but if you have too much stress, if your cortisol levels are turned on sky high, if you're maybe doing too much cardio and not enough strength training, if you're losing muscle instead of maintaining muscle, that could be another side of whether or not you can be healthy over 50. So there's a lot of factors that can go into it. And I'm hoping to kind of break it down over time. But when we're over 50, what we want to look at is maintaining our basal metabolic rate, which means we need to maintain our muscle and our bones. And so going on Ozempic is not the solution. The solution for weight loss solution is getting on a low carb diet, a holistic low carb diet after 50, so that you don't have side effects, because the Ozempic is a Russian roulette. You do not know if you're going to have the side effects. And from somebody mentioned that I was talking to, 2 months and 6 pounds of weight loss, and if you're losing muscle as opposed to just fat, and that's not very sustainable. And when the thing is, when you get off of Ozempic, you gain all the weight back because you're gaining fat back because you lost the muscle, which is your basal metabolic rate, but on a keto diet. And when you're working with the holistic low carb method, what you're doing is bringing in the right amount of protein to maintain your basal metabolic rate. And when you maintain your basal metabolic rate, you maintain your muscle, you actually take your weight set point and incrementally set it down. And then, so that's why weight loss isn't a direct diagonal line down. It's more like this, because you have to change your weight set point as you do this. And so you will lose a few pounds, then you have to set it. And then you have to get your body hormonally balanced and let it know that it's safe to lose more weight. And so then as you continue to lose the weight, that's why it can be, it all depends on each person and each person's body burden for toxic load and as to what's going on in your body as to how fast you can lose the weight. I've known someone lose 50 pounds in 6 months. I have had people who lose maybe only 10 pounds in 6 months. And so it can vary. And then you have to look at it. It's like, are you following the steps that you need to keep your carbs low, to get the fat loss, to get the weight loss off? Because that is also another factor. And a lot of the times, sometimes the first 6 months to a year could be mindset changes. And so, we have to get our body healthy to lose weight. So what does healthy look like as a woman over 50? What it looks like for each person is going to be a little bit different, because everybody is unique and has a different hormonal process. So it's getting your hormones balanced so that you can find your sweet spot. Dial in your food sensitivities and stop eating the things that are causing inflammation, and then you heal and seal the gut so that your body can stop producing inflammation and start getting healthier to lose the weight. And so sometimes this may sound like I'm repeating myself off and on, because maybe I am, but that is part of the process of getting healthy to lose the weight. And I do have a free workshop. I changed the date from Monday to Wednesday. It's next Wednesday on I think it's the 15th of March. It's 5 p.m. Pacific, but that's when I'm going to really get down into the science of banishing cravings and managing your appetite. Because if you don't do that part of it, if you're hungry, you can't diet. Hormonally, your body will make you eat. And you're going to go and eat the ultra-processed food, and then you're going to get sicker, and then you're going to gain more weight. So this is about my weight loss solution and holistic low carb method is about turning off weight gain and not having weight gain as a woman over 50, because of how you're managing your lifestyle and making the food shifts that you need to make to tune into what you need to do so that you are healthy after 50. Because if you have pain in your body, if you have symptoms of disease, anything going on in your body that sends you to the medical system means you've got nutritional dysfunction, metabolic dysfunction. They used to call it metabolic syndrome. high blood pressure, if you don't feel like your cholesterol is correct, if your HDL is too low, your triglycerides are too high. If you have metabolic dysfunction in your body, it is because you're not eating the right diet for your body. You're not eating the right food. Food is information to your body. You need to be able to digest it with the right stomach acid. Your gallbladder needs to work. If you don't have a gallbladder, are you using the right supplementation to support your gallbladder? That isn't there. And so that's ox bile. If you don't have a gallbladder, you need ox bile. And so part of this is eating the right food, digesting that food, getting it into small digested pieces into your intestinal tract so that it actually nourishes your good bacteria. And it's not the wrong food that feeds fat bacteria that cause pathogenesis and then also dysbiosis in your gut. You don't want to feed viruses, candida, H. pylori. You don't want to feed any of those things. We want to nourish our intestinal tract and have better immune system. So over 50, that's what it's starting to look like. So let's, start with banishing those cravings. Start with getting rid of the appetite, lowering your appetite. This is the free workshop. It's on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Come, you need to let me know if you're, so when I repost this, I'm going to post it to stories with the link to sign up for the workshop. And I will try to keep a link in stories over the weekend, so that you can sign up, and you can always DM me too if you want the link direct if you can't find it. But I'm super excited to share all this with you. I've got a great presentation. I'd love for you to be there. Also, once you sign up, send me a question that might be pertaining to you specifically so I can help customize to what you need for your diet and lifestyle needs. Because, like I said, we're all unique. We're all different. And what's good for one person may not be good for another. Like my brother's sensitive to strawberries. I'm sensitive to blueberries. I love blueberries, but they set off my sugar cravings. And I always gain weight because it's one of my food sensitivities that I've never been able to actually reset. And so my body doesn't want me to eat blueberries, even though blueberries were healthy for you, right? And the same as sweet potatoes. And zucchini, I don't eat those very much. If I do eat them, it's very occasionally, but they were one of my food sensitivities, and I've just gotten out of the habit of eating them. And what you really, really want to look at is the big bad three that are the trifecta that set off your B cell antigen response in your body, which is an immune response, your B cell activation. Antigen is an immune response in your body. So guess what food does that? Wheat. And it doesn't matter if it's ultra-processed or less processed, because wheat will set off that B cell antigen response in your body. And when you have that, you are in an immune-activated state of inflammation. So if you have pain anywhere in your body, you want to think about, what's that pain try to tell you? Sciatica is not just, oh, I have a sciatica pain. Why do you have it? Why do you have sore knees? I used to have sore knees, but you don't have to settle for sore knees. You need to turn off the inflammation by what you eat. That's where you start. Sorry about that. And then you got to build up your cartilage. And so there's things that you can do. So, sugar and the glucose load on your body, which includes wheat. So when you eat well over 100 carbohydrates a day. So you want to get your carbohydrates under 100. When you eat well over 100 carbohydrates a day, the average person may be eating 300. That is causing your insulin levels to be on all the time. So you are in a sugar burning mode, a fat storage mode, and you are in a disease state, because that's what it does. And so for women over 50 to be healthy, what we're going to focus on is turning that off. So my weight loss solution is addressing insulin resistance and getting your body healthy to lose weight with the holistic low carb method, so that you can turn off the pain of inflammation and start living life the way you want to live life. We all deserve that. And if I could discover that and do this, and yes, it might seem overwhelming initially. That's why you work with somebody like me, so that I can break it down into steps so that it's not overwhelming, and so that you have a plan. And when you have a plan, it's easier to implement. And then you know what to do, and you're going to get the information and the knowledge that you need to follow this, so that you could get the results you want. And sometimes we don't even get the results we want specifically because we don't know what our body needs to do first. Like I said, your body has to get healthy to lose the weight. And so healthy for your body, you have to reverse fatty liver. You have to get your liver functioning. You need to be able to have, you need to not be constipated or to have diarrhea. You need to get that organized. And you need to correct the bacteria in your gut. We need to eat the right foods to feed the right bacteria in our gut. And when we're using the right food for information to our body, then we can turn health back on. And so it can seem, to me, kind of seems simple to speak it out, but there's a lot of shifts to do, a lot of actions to do. And if you do the actions exactly as set out, you get better results. And that's why somebody I know, one of my clients, actually lost 50 pounds in 6 months because she went in there specifically for fat loss and didn't do any cheating. She just did it straight on and didn't have any interferences, was able to just knock it out. But everybody's in a different place. And so I don't always know where you are until we get started. So I will always give you a metabolic analysis to find out what's going on in your body, because you could have 500 symptoms of metabolic dysfunction. And guess what? When you go to a doctor, they're going to treat one. When I support my clients, I support the whole body all at once with diet, rest, exercise, stress, movement, circadian balance, health adventures, targeted supplementation, my lived experience, and lifestyle management to get you healthy to lose the weight by using those 6 diagnostic labs to find your hidden healing opportunities and weight loss blocks so we can put you back together again like Humpty Dumpty. And your medical system cannot do this. Just keep that in mind, because you're precious, and everything that you need to do, you just need to understand what you need to do. And you may not understand what you need to do. So that's why I want to be an inspirational speaker for you with FDN, to get out there and really let you know that you have the hope to get out here and do this. You can change your health for the better. If you already have something turned on, some symptoms of disease turned on, the best thing you can do is lower your insulin response to get your body back to a state where it is more programmed for fat burning and for repair. Fat burning is also repair. When you do intermittent fasting, you're repairing your body. When you eat 24/7, if you eat from the moment you get up and eat past 10 o'clock at night, you have this big window of food in your body, and your body can't repair itself. And so you'll have to turn off food out, you have to eat within a window. So it's called time restricted eating. It's your circadian balance. Every organ in your body has a circadian rhythm. It has a body clock. So you have body clocks. And so one thing I've noticed and how I work with my clients is I get them to not eat past 6 or 7 o'clock. And you know what they notice? If they eat past that time, they get more pain, more GERD, more digestive upset, and maybe can't sleep as good. So try it. That's something easy you can do at home. Don't eat past 6 o'clock. And watch your digestion, get used to that. And then you'll have better sleep. It's really, really fascinating how quick and easy that is. And then you can also download the book Circadian Code by Satya Panda. He talks more about this and how he actually supported his mom not to have diabetes because he didn't let her eat past 6 o'clock at night. Now, can you imagine if life is just that simple? Just that simple. Don't eat past 6 o'clock. And so there's going to be times where you're going to go out, you're going to have a date, you're going to go out and, celebrate something, and you're going to eat later. Once in a while, it's fine. But just know that you want to make sure you take your digestive enzyme or some ginger, because you might have some more gut upset. But for the most part, if you could get yourself to stop eating, like if you stop eating by 6 and then you don't eat till 8 o'clock the next morning, that is a 14-hour window. That's because you have to go at least 12 hours to reduce the inflammation in your body. When you reduce the inflammation in your body by doing that time-restricted eating, then any time after a 12-hour window is when you're actually going to be more in autophagy and do more of a cellular cleanup. So that's what you want to look at, is how much further can you get into that. So I've got someone who's saying they lost 85 pounds last year with intermittent fasting, but then in November of last year, body started craving terribly, which made it impossible for me to do intermittent fasting. So you're not eating enough protein is what I'm thinking. So why don't you start eating more protein, satiate your appetite. When you go too long without protein, you're going to cannibalize your body. And so you need 100 grams of protein plus for your body. So the studies are showing that we need a pound of protein, a gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. So my desired body weight is 125. I'm currently holding at about 130. And so I should be eating 125 grams of protein. Hold on, I've got that tickle in my throat again. So if you're doing intermittent fasting or fasting too long, it could be that you're doing it too much and you need to do it less. And so some days you may be doing 3 meals a day with protein, fat, and vegetables. And then maybe you're doing an OMAD where you're doing less so you can get more into autophagy. But if you're hungry and you're craving things, you're not eating enough protein and fat for your body, and you're doing too much intermittent fasting. And so that's something to look into, and definitely something I do with lifestyle management with my clients is to help you dial in that process and check in with you weekly to make sure that you're on the right track, because you want to get the right amount of protein. I stress that all the time. 30 grams of protein minimally with each meal, so you can be in a muscle synthesis, so you can build muscle while still eating it and hopefully lose weight. Now, you may not lose weight as, well, I don't know, you still need to build a muscle. You need to build a muscle to lose the weight, because over time you're going to have a stronger basal metabolic rate. And all the studies are showing the more protein you eat, the more muscle you build, the more fat you will lose. I had a client that just increased her amino acids and lost body fat, but gained 5 pounds. And so that's the power of amino acids and protein. We need to eat more food, and it's just the right type of food for your body. Are you getting the right amount of protein, fat, and vegetables? Now, I have some sugar-free dark chocolate with a little bit of almond butter on it. That's my little dopamine hit, with a few macadamia nuts. I use that after my meal in between my eating cycle. And then usually I'm done eating by 3 o'clock, because I've noticed over the years that I don't lose weight if I eat as late as 6. I do better maintaining my weight if I finish by 3 or 4 o'clock, 5 at the latest. And I was like horrified when somebody wanted me to go out to dinner at 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, should I tell him I don't eat that late? I'm like, it was just like a little bit horrifying for me. But because if you hang out in my world for a while, eating at 7 o'clock becomes something you have to really double think. It's like, shoot, I don't really want to do that. Could mess up your whole week and your sleep cycle. So once you get your body used to eating time-restricted eating, you just want to tune into how you feel. If you're feeling super stressed out, if you're feeling really hungry, you need to eat. And so those are some of the things that you need to focus on. The whole idea is to lower insulin, but eat enough protein and fat for our bodies to function. And so this is also about maintaining your brain health. When you maintain your brain health and your muscle mass and your bone mass, what you're doing is maintaining the health of your body for longevity as a woman over 50. We want to focus on our health. And yes, we want the weight loss. But this is about, what does healthy look like as a woman over 50? And what healthy looks like is your vitality. And so that you can have the body that you want to have health-wise, to turn off the pain of inflammation, to live the life that you want to choose and have the best life after, this second half of your life is the best. You could live a life as an adventure. And so we have to turn off the pain of inflammation to get there. And so that means you can't eat sugar. And so if you want to have a bite of sugar here and there, I would say have a bite of sugar here and there if you think you can handle it and you're not insulin resistant, and you're going to boomerang into food cravings, and then you're not going to be able to stop eating. So if you can handle 1 bite of sugar or 1 cookie, and you can then next day get back on track and be fine, can you continue to lose the weight? But here's the problem. The problem is, if you continue to cheat on a low carb diet and have a bite of this and a bite of this and a bite of that, you're going to sabotage your whole weight loss process for your longevities. Because if you don't feel like you're getting the quick wins, if you don't feel like you're losing the weight, you may stop doing what you're doing thinking it doesn't work. Or You may decide, well, a gluten-free cookie is healthy. I'm going to have a gluten-free cookie. I'm going to have a gluten-free pizza. I'm going to have gluten-free this or that, and there's still sugar in there, and so it's going to stall your weight loss, maybe completely, and so at that point, what you want to do, and weight loss may take longer because that can happen, which you're not going to get the weight loss if you cannot adhere to the guidelines of a low carb diet. And so there's no miracle here. The magic is if you follow it correctly and do everything I say, you will get the weight loss. That's what Mary said. And so you have to lower your carbohydrates. If you can't lower your carbohydrates, you can at least get your body healthy to lose the weight. And sometimes there's mindset that needs to go into this. And we have to actually take the time to explore the mindset, explore the food. It's the food addictions. You have to explore the food addictions and get off of them. And sometimes it's really hard to say no to the sugar from the cookie, even if it's a gluten-free cookie and you think it's healthy. And then so maybe you're eating some dark chocolate with a little bit of cane sugar, but that's still going to set off your sugar insulin response. And it's going to then you're not going to be as good a fat burner if you're getting those little sneaks in. So if you're thinking you're going to have a cheat day once a week, because everybody says you're going to have a cheat day. Well, let me tell you, from someone who's been 225 pounds, had depression, asthma, and all the problems that I had, if you do that, you will stay sick. So that is the problem with the diet. That is a diet mentality. So you want to look at this as food shifts and lifestyle shifts to get the best health and bring back your vitality, reclaim your life, and say no to the foods that are poisoning you. And so the foods that are poisoning you are going to be those sugars. And so, if you want to have a wedding cake once a year, twice a year, indulge. How do you feel afterwards? I knew somebody who did that and she ended up with like 3 or 4 food sensitivities that she took a hit on, immediately pain in her gut. And she's like, I'm never going to do that again. When you start to feel the pain, because when you take out the foods that you're sensitive to and start to listen to your body, then you know what you need to not eat. And so that's when you really start to understand mentally that these are foods that are not good for your body and that you don't want to have them. And so you have to remember, we are designed to seek out sugar, to fatten up for winter, to survive. And so we have to flip that sugar switch, turn it off, and say no to the cravings. And the only way to do that is to flip it off. Come to my sugar cravings workshop. Banish cravings so that you can understand the science behind that. We need to flip the sugar switch off. Become a fat burner. Take out the sugar in the wheat that causes our insulin levels to go up. This is the holistic low carb method process. Well, you have to do that. If you have a cheat day once a week, you will continually have inflammation in your body for 6 to 8 months to a year, because wheat sets off that antigen B cell response in your body. That is inflammation. So I will eat sugar before I will touch wheat. I will not touch the wheat. I might be contaminated by it at restaurants or in my own home because somebody who lives here eats wheat, so I would rather eat sugar, which my body knows how to detox, but I don't want to have inflammation from wheat. And so you want to look at food like that. Which food is going to cause your problems? And if you're trying to get off of food sensitivities or food addictions, you might have to say no to it for longer until you reverse the insulin resistance. Let me tell you a story about drinking wine. I used to always get the rapid heart rate when I drank wine. And so your insulin levels are rising when that's happening. And so I would take cinnamon, and that would help. But when I stopped drinking the alcohol, then that response went away. But if I drank alcohol, especially like margaritas with sugar in it, if you drink anything sweet, alcohol with sweet, that's a double whammy. That's a bad no-no. If you're going to have alcohol, just keep it to red wine. But can your body handle that at this point with insulin resistance? That's when you want to look at alcohol. Can your body handle this? Are you in a state that you can handle the alcohol? Now, I can handle alcohol now because I don't have insulin resistance. And now when I drink alcohol, I notice that I don't have the rapid heart rate. I can handle my alcohol, but I don't ever go beyond a cup. But now that ever since 2020, I don't even drink alcohol that much. So I'm pretty much out of the habit of it. And so we want to look at food the same way. How does that food respond to your body? If you eat it on a daily or weekly basis and you get sick from it weekly, you have inflammation turned on weekly, your body will not heal. You cannot get healthy after 50. So that is why everybody is staying unhealthy if they're eating the standard American diet or even trying to eat healthy because you think you're eating healthy. But you might eat healthy during the week and then not healthy on the weekend. And that's still going to set off your inflammation response, still keep you addicted to the sugar and the wheat that you're trying to get off of. And so even though you're using willpower during the week and you let yourself off on the weekends, that's when you're still in a diet mentality and you're not really looking at health holistically, to turn off the pain of inflammation and to get your body to heal naturally by flipping your sugar switch and stopping the insulin surges in your body. That's where it matters. That's why they say sugar is a poison or a toxin to your body. It's not a poison specifically. It won't kill you like arsenic will. It's a slow poison like alcohol, which is a toxin and a slow poison to the body, the brain and the liver. And no amount of alcohol is safe for the body. It's been shown. And that damages your brain and your liver. And you cannot lose weight while you drink alcohol. And you can't detoxify estrogen. So if you're under 50 and you've still got a lot of estrogen in your system and you're drinking alcohol daily, you cannot detoxify that estrogen. You're going to be estrogen dominant and have more symptoms of PCOS, which I had when I was in my 30s. And most women these days have it because we're on birth control. And then that is more of an estrogen dominant situation. And so that's part of the fertility issues as well. And they've even shown that if you're looking for fertility, I mean, I know I'm speaking about women over 50 here, so we're not really into fertility, but it was a really interesting study because you might be eating conventional vegetables, but guess what? The women in this fertility study who ate more conventional vegetables had more stillbirths and miscarriages because of the pesticides on those vegetables. So when I focus on a low carb diet, I focus on a holistic low carb diet to lower your toxic burden in your body, because if you're taking in toxins, you're creating more endocrine dysfunction and you're storing more fat, because when your body sees something come in and it has to store it, it has to store the toxins so that you're not damaged, so it's going to store it in your body fat. So actually getting fat's kind of like a protective mechanism. And so you might not have disease and you just have body fat. And maybe you're just headed towards diabetes because it's incremental. It could take 10 to 15 years to be diabetic. You're going to be pre-diabetic and you're going to be in this reference range. And your doctor's not going to tell you you're diabetic till you pop over that reference range. You are already diabetic if you're inside this reference range in functional nutrition. Okay, as soon as you have belly fat and you're overweight and you have 10, 15, 20 pounds and you've got that visceral fat in your belly, you are in a disease state. Insulin resistance is the precursor to all diseases in the body. And that leads to that pre-diabetes and the diabetes state and Alzheimer's. And so when you want to turn that off, so that's again, what does healthy look like over 50? It's not having Alzheimer's. It's not having Parkinson's. It's not having diabetes. That's what healthy looks like. And you can turn all of this off. I am your low carb advocate for women over 50. And this is my passion, ladies. This is my pain to purpose to passion. And it's my promise to let you know that you could do this too. Now, I don't know where you are in your health. That's why you work with an FDN, so we could run those 6 diagnostic labs, find out what your hidden healing opportunities are, run that metabolic analysis, find out what your symptoms are, and then find your hidden weight loss blocks. And then I analyze all of that, all of it, all together, to figure out what's going on inside your body. And then you'll get targeted protocol and supplementation to find out what you need to do. And so it shifts, it's action shifts, and you're worth all of this. This is not something that's covered by the medical system. This is something that I have done and designed on my own and with functional diagnostic nutrition that I have comprised into a weight loss solution for you as a woman over 50 with my holistic low carb method to stop weight gain over 50 and to empower women. So yeah, it starts with a food sensitivity test. That's the first start. Because when you can turn off the inflammation, I used to have pain on the end of my elbows, and I kind of heard somebody talk about that recently. I never have that pain anymore. I used to have sore knees. I don't have that anymore, except for I did have some runner's knees, but it's not quite the same thing. And I've since repaired that and gone on to 10-mile hikes, and I don't have any pain from that. So we can take back control of our body. We can live without disease in our body after 50. And I'm not saying that anybody has chosen to have disease in their body. I'm not saying that, a lot of this is not our fault, that the food system and our environment is so toxic to us, that, with our DNA, we were vulnerable. We don't know where our DNA is vulnerable. But this is what I practice. I practice something called epigenetics. You can turn off your disease-causing genes in your body by the food that you eat. Though food is information to your bodies. And isn't it amazing that Hippocrates said all these years ago, let food be thy medicine, that all disease starts in the gut. And it's the same today, and we're learning more and more. And this is about your mitochondria health, because if you don't have good mitochondria, you're not going to have good brain health. And it's the metabolism. So, a lot of the studies are coming out that that cancer is a metabolic disease, but a metabolic dysfunction, but it's also a mitochondria dysfunction. There's no energy in the body for the body to do what it needs to do because it's not being energized. Are you going outside in the morning to get your light in your eyes without glasses on? I do this every morning. And so you want to also, that's the other side of this, is the health adventures that you need to create to be able to live life active, to have better bone mass and longevity and maintain your muscle mass. You have to live life as an adventure. And part of having an adventure is taking advantage of things like what I offer so you could find out what you need to do to get your body back to shape again. So that's what I had for you today. I could probably go on and on and on but I'm not really, but then this was too long to listen to. And so if you're interested in my workshop, it is Wednesday, 5:00. Come and find out more about it. I'm going to put a link in my stories, and then you can sign up and send me a question when you've signed up and let me know that you're coming. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.